Hi everyone, it's Artist from Main Carpentry. In today's video I'll show you how I fit latch and handle. So it really depends on the door, where you position your handle height, but on average it's about 1.950 to a meter of the wall. But then if you go panel door, you obviously put it in the middle of the panel, so it's central to panel, or best is really to speak to customer, because like 1930 doors, they got the bar here, so it's just very high level. But again, you know, you're better off checking at the time where you're gonna fit actual door, where you're gonna with the customer, check with the customer where they prefer it to have. And you're good to go. So what you will need, depending on the latch, you will need most likely 22mm drill bit, 16mm. This is to drill where the handle will be, this is to drill where the latch will be, and you'll need a small power drill for your screws. Also, you're going to need a wedge to wedge the door in a position so it doesn't slide around. You're going to need a mallet, and you're going to need a set of chisels to obviously chisel out for the latch, etc. And a drill bit and pallet bit needs to be with the countersink end. Reason being because the latches usually have the let me show you. So latches and latch pads, as you can see, they got this recess in the back, so that will obviously, you know, push the plate off the door of the cutout you have made. Same is for the latch itself. So make sure you either have a countersink drill bit, or you need a bigger drill bit to cut out first the bigger hole for your C-cut. Or easiest way is having obviously a drill bit with the countersink in one. Then you just, you know, drill it and it's there then. So the first job is to mark your height. So meet of the floor, and once you've done one, what I would suggest, you measure from top of the door rather than from the floor, because obviously floors won't be level, or if they, I'll be very surprised if they are. So what I do, I usually mark one on, if I got especially like here we got quite a few doors, I mark one which is the height desired by customer, or if you got to make that decision, you make a decision, and then I keep measuring from top of the door so that all the handles align once they're done, so they don't go up and down as the floor would. So yeah, that's another thing. Also, so next step, you get your height of the door or of the floor, whichever door it is. Then you need to measure this measurement from the plate to the center of the hole. The one I got, they call it 3 inch, which means the length of the latch from plate to the end of the tubular latch is 3 inches. but the actual hole for the center of the handle will be just over 2 inches. So you need to watch that. So you just measure from the front of the plate to center of the hole. In this case it's 57 millimeters. Mark that, transfer that here. Then I go around, so I do the same measurement down from the top of the door to where the latch will sit. Then I put the latch in central of the door width. And then I go around again and transfer the line onto other side of the door. So in my case it's 99.5 millimeters down. And then 57 from the front edge back in. That's the center of the handle. So the first hole I make is the central hole for the latch. Next holes I make are for this handle, spindle. Go gently, because if you push through you could, damage the other side of the door. Depending where you are working, I would suggest you using a hoover, just to hoover out the dust. Sometimes what you might have to do, this just fits this latch, but sometimes you might have to take slightly off bottom and the top with the chisel, about 20mm or 50mm chisel, just to ease the latch. But this latch fits, so I don't have to do that, but sometimes you got to. Pardon me, because it doesn't fit in a position. So the next step I do, I put the latch in and I mark. You can drill your holes, start them. You obviously gonna have to go again, but that will give position. I wouldn't go all the way because you're gonna have to chop some out for the plate to sit in. So just do a hole so they're there. But once you make a cut out, you're gonna have to then finish off to get these sunk, basically these high spots. Also these high spots of the back of the latch, they're gonna have to be sunken in, so hence why we use countersign and a drill, which makes a pilot hole and it takes that chamfer out of the wood so it sits in. So you will need, usually the latch plate is about 25mm big, so I use 20mm chisel to chisel that, and then about 35-40mm chisel to do the side, because a bigger chisel I find a bit too wide. I use 20mm just in case, it gives you, a little bit of wiggle room. always cut it slightly smaller and then I mark it like a final one, which you can use a Stanley knife, because pencil, if it's not very sharp, it could be slightly out. So now, once I know the depth is okay, which you can actually check by spinning around your latch, putting it this way and seeing that if it fits, and what you see, whether you have cut enough. As you can see that it's flush, so that way you can determine before you actually put it in that it's gonna fit flush. So next step is, obviously we mark the holes, that is so it doesn't pull it anywhere before we actually cut the hole. So now I countersink just to get rid of, so to allow this plate go in this slot there. Screws. So this part is done. The next part is we can put a handle on. So what I do, I usually position my handle where I would like it to be, so it's parallel to my door. Start with one fixing. Then you can check that it's where you want it to be. Do a diagonally one. So once the side is finished, you can go on the other side, do the same. Check the handle's working. Next step is you close the door gently, hold the latch, you mark where the latch is sitting on a frame. Then you take the measurement from the door to the latch, which is 12mm in our case. Sometimes with a bit more expensive ironmongery, you will have a black box behind which covers the, you know, the seat cut for your latch. In this case we don't, and we don't have adjustment as well, so you're gonna have to get it spot on. Then you check how the door sits. If door is flush and true and everything is good, you're happy with where it's sitting. Well, it should be with new linings anyway, so you know that you got 12mm from the front of the frame back in. That's your measurement for where your latch will sit, so door sits flush with the frame. So that's what I'm doing now. I'll just carry on those lines so I know where the actual latch is. So I mark 12mm. Spin it over. And mark it out. That's that. Then I drill these holes first. I use the 16mm bit. So, latch is in. I hope you found it useful, and I will catch up you in the next video.